In a realm hidden from human eyes, there existed a magical place called Numeralia. This was the secret kingdom where numbers lived, played, and went about their daily lives. Each number had its own unique personality and special powers, and together they formed the foundation of all mathematics in the world. Our story begins with young Zero, a round and cheerful number who had always felt a bit different from the others. You see, in Numeralia, numbers were valued by how much they could add to things, and Zero didn't seem to add anything at all. One day, Zero decided to go on an adventure to discover his true purpose. As he rolled through the twisting streets of Numeralia, he bumped into his friend 1, the first positive integer. "Hey, Zero," 1 called out. "Where are you off to in such a hurry?" Zero sighed. "I'm trying to find out why I'm important. Everyone else seems to have a clear role, but I feel, well, like nothing." 1 smiled kindly. "Oh, Zero, you're far from nothing. Without you, none of us could reach our full potential. Come with me, I'll show you." Together, Zero and 1 set off on a journey through Numeralia. Their first stop was the Great Plaza of Addition, where numbers gathered to combine their powers. There, they met the friendly 7, who was chatting with her best friend 3. "Watch this," 1 whispered to Zero. Then, addressing 7 and 3, 1 asked, "Hey friends, can you show Zero what happens when you add yourselves together?" 7 and 3 nodded eagerly. They joined hands, and a bright light flashed. When it faded, the number 10 stood in their place. "That's amazing," Zero exclaimed. "Now," said 1, "watch what happens when I join in." 1 touched 10, and suddenly 11 appeared. "But what can I do?" Zero asked, still unsure. 1 grinned. "Try standing next to me." Zero rolled up next to 1, and suddenly they transformed into 10. Zero's eyes widened in amazement. I made you 10 times bigger." "Exactly," 1 laughed. "You have the power to make things greater by tenfold. That's your special gift." Feeling a bit more confident, Zero continued the journey with 1. As they traveled, they encountered many other numbers, each with their own stories and powers. They met the twins, 2 and 3, who introduced them to the concept of multiplication. "We're the smallest pair of prime numbers," 2 explained proudly. "Prime numbers?" Zero asked curiously. 3 nodded. "We're special numbers that can only be divided by 1 and ourselves. There are infinitely many of us, but no one has found a pattern to predict where we all are yet." As they continued their journey, they came across a wise old number with a long, flowing beard. This was the famous Pythagoras, a number who had taken the form of an ancient Greek mathematician. "Ah, young numbers," Pythagoras said warmly. "What brings you to my corner of Numeralia?" 1 explained Zero's quest to understand his importance, and Pythagoras nodded thoughtfully. "You know," he said, "numbers are not just about quantity, they also have qualities. For instance, some numbers are square, formed by multiplying a number by itself." To demonstrate, he called over his friends 4 and 9. 4 is 2 times 2, and 9 is 3 times 3, Pythagoras explained. They form perfect squares. Zero watched in wonder as 4 and 9 transformed into beautiful square shapes. Their next stop was the fraction fields, where they met the lively half, 1/3, and quarter. "We're parts of the whole numbers," Half explained. We help when you need to divide things equally. Zero was fascinated. But how do you know which of you to use? That's where I come in, said a new voice. A number shaped like a beautiful curve approached them. I'm pi, she said with a smile. I'm an irrational number, which means my decimal places go on forever without repeating. I'm especially useful when dealing with circles and spheres. As they journeyed on, they entered a mysterious, shadowy part of Numeralia. Welcome to the realm of negative numbers, said a voice from the darkness. A group of numbers emerged, each with a minus sign proudly displayed. We're just like the positive numbers, explained -5, but we represent quantities less than 0. We're essential for understanding debts, temperatures below freezing, and so much more. Zero felt a special connection to the negative numbers, realizing he was the bridge between them and the positive numbers. Their adventure continued to the decimal point meadows, where they met numbers like 0.5 and 3.14. We help express precise measurements, said 0.5. Without us, it would be hard to describe quantities between whole numbers. As the day wore on, 0 and 1 found themselves in the exponent towers, where they met square root and cube root. We help numbers grow exponentially, square root explained. Or shrink them back down, added cube root with a wink. Throughout their journey, 0 and 1 encountered many famous mathematicians who had taken on numerical forms in Numeralia. They met Euclid, the father of geometry, who showed them how numbers could create beautiful shapes and patterns. They spoke with Fibonacci, who introduced them to his famous sequence, where each number is the sum of the two preceding ones. They even had a chance to meet the brilliant Hypatia, one of the world's earliest known female mathematicians. She taught them about philosophy and astronomy, and how numbers help us understand the universe. As the sun began to set over Numeralia, 0 and 1 found themselves in the quiet gardens of infinity, tended by a kind-looking man named Georg Cantor. Infinity is a concept that helps us understand endlessness, Cantor explained. Even though you can always add one more to any number, infinity is not a number itself, but an idea of limitlessness. Zero's mind was reeling from all he had learned. He now understood that he was far from worthless. In fact, he was essential in so many ways. In the decimal system, in exponential growth, as a placeholder in large numbers, and as the starting point of both positive and negative numbers. As 0 and 1 prepared to head home, they were stopped by a regal-looking woman with a crown of equations on her head. This was Ada Lovelace, considered by many to be the world's first computer programmer. Numbers are not just for counting and calculating, Ada told them. They're the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe. With numbers, we can create art, music, and even bring imaginary worlds to life through computer programs. 0 and 1 nodded, filled with a new appreciation for the vastness of their numerical world. As they finally returned to where their journey began, 0 turned to 1 with a big smile. "Thank you for showing me all this," he said. "I never realized how important and interconnected we all are." 1 grinned back. "That's the beauty of mathematics, 0. We're all part of something bigger than ourselves. Every number, every mathematical concept plays a crucial role in helping humans understand and shape their world." From that day on, 0 held his head high in Numeralia. He knew that he was not nothing. He was the starting point of all numbers, the balancer of equations, and a critical player in the decimal system.